let's talk Los Angeles basketball because obviously one hire just happened down the street for the Lakers, and the free agency period has a big, huge domino first to tumble in this city. Let's talk about J.J. Redick off the jump. What's your opinion of his hiring?
So I probably wouldn't have hired J.J. Redick if I was running a team, mostly because I'm a fan of hiring guys that have the qualifications for the job, basically. Mm-hmm. I like hiring assistant coaches. I think that assistant coaches who grind, who put in their time, too often get overlooked. Like Sam Cassell is on the bench in Boston. Sam Cassell had a comparable career to J.J. Redick. Played 15 seasons, won 3 championships, made an all-star team, one all-NBA team. When Sam Cassell retired in 2008, he didn't go into media, though I think if you know Sam Cassell, he would be great at the media. Mm-hmm. He went and learned on Flip Saunders' bench in Washington, on Doc Rivers' benches. He was a key member of Joe Mazzulla's staff. What does Sam Cassell have to do to earn a head coaching opportunity? He's a former player, a point guard, a lot of respect, championship pedigree. Sam Cassell would have been atop my list, but I also would have gone down to Sean Sweeney, who was Jason Kidd's top lieutenant. You've got David Adelman in Denver, terrific one. I could name a dozen assistants that I think are I would have gone for if I was hiring for that Lakers job. But Rich, it could not matter one bit. I put this in my column on SI.com today. Mm-hmm. They could have hired Eric Spoelstra, had Ty Lue as his lead assistant, and Tom Thibodeau as his defensive coordinator. And it would not matter one bit because the Lakers roster is the problem. The Lakers have a roster that is good but not great and has almost no room to significantly improve, right? Like they had some injuries last year. People will point out Jared Vanderbilt out for a while. Gabe Vincent missed most of the season. Those are problematic. But they also had great health from their stars. Anthony Davis played 76 games. LeBron James played 81. Austin Reeves, or 71. Austin Reeves played all 82. So the I don't think health is going to be a difference maker. The Lakers are going to make a trade this summer. There's no doubt about that. They've got 3 first-round draft picks to deal. Maybe it's Trae Young. Maybe it's DeJounte Murray. Maybe it's Zach LaVine. But given what they're going to have to give up to get one of those guys, I don't see either one of those guys, any one of those guys, making a measurable difference. So to me, when people talk about the impact that J.J. Redick can make, he can connect with players really well, or the negatives of it, that he's too close to LeBron James. I'm here to tell you, it does not matter because I don't think any coach is going to make a measurable difference with the Lakers because I think their roster is kind of stuck, and I don't think they can improve enough in a conference where everyone's improving. I just mentioned the Caruso deal. Dallas is going to get better. Denver's going to be back. Look below them in the standings. Houston's going to be better. Victor Wembanyama's coming with San Antonio, and he's going to get some help this offseason. The Western Conference, outside of Portland, which is going to get clobbered every night, the Western Conference 1 through 14 is going to be hell this year for the Lakers, and I think that's going to put them right back in the same position that they're in right now.
Yeah, and you didn't even mention Minnesota, right? And they're right at the top as well as what you just described so expertly, I might add, is the reason why Dan Hurley said no. What are you hearing about that?
I don't think it's one thing, right? Like, I think Dan Hurley, from what I've been able to glean, looked at the Lakers as a long-term situation. Like, he was offered, 5-6 year deal. So he was looking at the Lakers beyond the LeBron James era. I think for Dan Hurley, 2 things came into play. One, his family's affection for the Northeast. They, his wife, his kids, they love that area of the country. And 2, coming back to a top 5 college basketball program with a chance to etch your name in the history books as a 3 consecutive NCAA champion. I mean, if I was Dan Hurley, I probably would have taken the job because you can always go back to college and find a great coaching job. But I will never criticize a guy for choosing your better life, the lifestyle, choosing the lifestyle you like over one maybe you don't.
But you just described what a difficult roster situation it was. You still would have counseled Dan Hurley to take the job?
Yeah. Again, because. And look, it could mean the same thing for J.J. Redick. Like, if he's there for 5 or 6 years, maybe he gets the opportunity
Correct.
to grow with that group. But Redick, I think, is the fourth coach in the last 6 years with the Lakers. They just cycle through these guys because the expectations in Los Angeles don't match the reality of the situation. People expect the Lakers, because they've got LeBron, because they've got AD, two guys that were all NBA players this year. They were still playing at a really high level. LeBron played like 35, 36 minutes per game in his 71 games this year. This was the most durable Davis has been at any time since very early in his career. But the roster doesn't support them. The roster is not going to push them to that level that those other teams we mentioned are on. So short term, I think the Lakers are problematic for a head coach. Long term, if they play things right, they could be a great situation.
Interesting. And the money wasn't an issue with Hurley? I mean,
Rich, you live in L.A.
I know. I'm just saying this, if it was 6 for $70, that's south of Pop. That's south of Spoelstra. That's south
true too.
Of,
so it's about south of Monty Williams, to be honest, who's now collecting more to not coach for the next 5 years.
Right.
I do think that if the Lakers really wanted Dan Hurley, they could have come higher, right? Because I'm not a tax expert, but the taxes in California,
you just use half. You just say
are
the word
significantly worse than the taxes in Connecticut. Like, that's a reality. Yeah. But even if you take the taxes out of the equation, like if you come at like 6 years, 90 million, 100 million, like that is making a guy an offer he can't refuse. And look, I think Dan Hurley said it in one of the 97 interviews he did in the aftermath of rejecting that deal, like that economics were a factor, that he could, if there was a bigger offer, it probably would have been more difficult to turn down. I think that's something that's a factor in all this, but I do think Dan Hurley likes Connecticut. His family likes Connecticut. The situation there for him is perfect. He got a bump in pay. The NIL money is going to flow through UConn as well. I'll never begrudge a guy for choosing a lifestyle over anything else.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.